Of Lagos, and I want to say thank you for joining us right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It's now time for our exclusive interview segment where we get to look at maybe one or two topical or prominent issues across Nigeria's political landscape. And obviously, sometimes we look at issues that affects us, directly, especially metro stories. Today, we're looking at a situation where there is a drove in terms of defection from the Labour Party to the APC. And the reason why this is a bit concerning is this. This party in 2027, or rather in 2022, 2023, was a party nobody saw was going to become very prominent. In fact, people thought that it was a joke. It started off as a movement that became a nation on its own. And the representative of that political party was Peter Obi. I think Nigerians were angry as to what transpired, specifically when it got to the climax in 2020, which led to the NSAS. A lot of things were wrong. We knew how the Buhari administration was. It was quite worrisome. We saw tribal differences very prominent. There was no federal character representation. The economy was nothing to write home about because the administration seemed not to have even known what to do with our economy. We had insecurity, which was one of the things they had promised they were going to resolve when they came on board in 2015, and then nothing. And this were the talisman that they rode by during their campaign in 2015 and 2019. Former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration rode on three tangents. The first one was insecurity, economy, as well as having to call what you call infrastructural development, having to resuscitate most of the redundant or moribund government facilities that were supposed to create job opportunities and revamp Nigeria's economy. Unfortunately, that was not the case. We could not give a timetable or a chart as to which of these sectors that were promised were going to resuscitate things or help things work out. There was no tangible evidence to prove that whatever policies implemented actually worked in the trajectory they promised us. So if the triage of economic development, insecurity, and infrastructural possibilities did not work, then what exactly did the 8 years of Muhammadu Buhari's administration, what was it about? And we saw several borrowings. So we expected that this administration would do the same thing, or this time in 2023, the political party that will sit down on that seat will do a turnaround, a 360 of what the previous administration did. And that was what birthed the third force. The Labour Party was a party that represented what the ordinary Nigerian on the street wanted in terms of change in governance. So what happened to that strong contender that came third? It was surprising. And what is going on now? The former aviation minister said that by 2027, the Labour Party will become extinct. It's barely 2 years after the 2023 elections. And what are we hearing about the party? Also, Peter Obi, that was a flag bearer, a couple of people feel he's not doing anything about the party, going down the drain. The support for the party has dwindled. Nobody understands the party anymore. The trust has dropped. And there is a lot of differences concerning what the political party represents and the presidential candidates of that political party. And that's what we want to talk about today, because ex-rep lawmaker Paschal Obi has dumped the Labour Party for the APC. Now, Paschal Obi is a former member of the House of Representatives who represented Idiato North and South Federal Constituency. He has defected from the Labour Party to the APC. He was officially welcomed back to the APC fold by the Imo State APC executives led by MacDonald Ebere. The former lawmaker had earlier formalized his membership at the ward and local government levels. This is actually quite embarrassing for a party that felt it won the 2023 elections, for a party that felt its mandate was stolen. So who were these individuals that drove on the high, on what you would call the supposed cloud nine of that political party in 2023? Who are these political elites who took advantage of that popularity or that celebrity status of the party, and now they really did not really have the true intention of what they promised when they took up their forms and they got nominated? And now what are we seeing going on with the party? These members all defecting to a party they swore to actually upstage. So what did you stand for? What did you represent? That's a big question. I want us to take a listen to Kenneth Okonkwo via a Monitor television program very recently, where he was asked about why members are leaving the Labour Party. You know, Kenneth Okonkwo was a former spokesperson of the Obi Dati campaign organization, a former member as well of the Labour Party. So let's take a brief listen to him. And obviously from there, I will introduce my guest on the program today, who will give us his own perspective, where, of course, we will proceed from in terms of getting your reaction.
Was a spokesperson in 2023 election. And I will tell you unequivocally that 2023 election did not reflect anything that was done on the ground.
Because you lost?
Till today, has INEC shown you polling unit results by polling units of the presidential election 2023?
I mean, that's your angle.
No, I'm asking you, have you seen? The law says that's what they should do. Section 62, subsection 2 and 3 of the Electoral Act. Have they shown you that? Now, let me tell you, the opposition are moving into the ruling party, not because they want to. Wow. As a matter of fact, because they need the ruling party in order to use INEC and the security agencies to rig election. Anybody, let me tell you, in a free and fair election, no one person will near APC with a long rope.
Okay, so what you're saying in
Absolutely.
effect
Yes.
is that the opposition party shouldn't even be in opposition at all. Because they don't know what they are doing.
No. What I'm saying is this. Except we begin to do a free, fair, credible and verifiable election, there is nothing like ruling party or opposition party, because that is the pillar of democracy.
I also asked you, what is the opposition in your own thinking doing about giving?
What the opposition is doing is that they are running into the ruling party so that they will use the state apparatus of power to rig election 2027.
Thank you so much, Kenneth Okonkwo, for being on the program.
All right, that was Kenneth Okonkwo speaking there. You heard him describe why he thinks these individuals are defected to the All Progressives Congress. Now, I want us to hear from my guest in the studio, that Mr. Dele Fanimo. Mr. Dele Fanimo is a political, national and social affairs commentator. Mr. Dele Fanimo, welcome to the exclusive interview right here on VOP 90.3 FM.
Good morning, Nestor, and good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning. Mr. Dele, what do you think? Do you toe the same line of thought as Kenneth Okonkwo as to why these individuals are leaving the Labour Party in droves?
You see, let me start by saying that there is no political party in Nigeria, but platforms.
Wow, okay. Expatiate.
And I would explain to you. You see, show me a political party that has ideology in this country. Show me a political party that is self-driven by members of those political parties. Now, in the days of Action Group, even up to UPN, LPN, NCNC, that was the First Republic up to Second Republic, the people owned the party. My grandfather was part of Action Group, and I saw his membership card with which he pays on monthly basis as his own token of support to that party. And if you pay, that means you are a co-owner of that party, regardless of how much you pay.
Okay.
And those times, the chairman of the party, either at local, state, or federal level, is the custodian. Was the custodian of that political party, and so everybody, including the president or prime minister or governor or local government chairman, they submit to the authority of the chairman of that political party.
Okay.
Everything turned round in 1991 when a sitting military head of state transmuted to a sitting president, when we started having the hierarchy in our political sphere. And so, by the time, even as recent as 1979, when Shagari of NPN came into government, Chief Meredith Adisa Akinloye was the party chairman. He was stronger than Shagari.
Okay.
No policy emanates from seat of government without the input of the chairman and the neck of the political party.
All right.
But what you have now, the moment you become local government chairman, you are the leader of that party in that local government. The moment you become the governor of that state, you are the leader of the political party
in that state.
The moment you become president, you are the leader of that political party that brought you in to the presidency. What that tells you is that the structure and the institution of that political party has been subsumed under the influence of a political actor. And so, arising from this, you will now know that Labour Party was just a party formed and kept in a state of comatose, waiting for a big fish to swim in that small pond. Labour Party, the best showing of Labour Party was when Dr. Olusegun Mimiko took Labour Party when he was literally railroaded out of PDP. And AD was not ready to accommodate him. Obasanjo told him that over his dead body will he ever become governor of Ondo State. And he wanted to achieve his ambition. He took from the cherry-picking parties.
He picked it.
He picked Labour Party. And as soon as he won that election, he returned back to PDP. And Labour Party resumed back to base as a comatose party. And if not for the internal dynamics that didn't work for P2B, he wouldn't have thought of coming to Labour Party.
Okay. If
P2B had been given the ticket of PDP during the convention, there was no reason for him to come to Labour Party. It was Peter Obi that made Labour Party what it is today.
Obviously.
With the obedience. That was why they could go all out to the 1,000 challenge.
1,000 naira challenge.
Yes. That was why they could also have a showing in less than 4 months to the election that P2B almost upsetted the status quo.
Exactly.
Now, sometimes it's just like a case of the king riding the horse. When the king is on the horse with all his full regalia and everything, when he's going along the street or in the marketplace, people respect, people genuflege. But unfortunately, the horse will think that it is the horse.
Mr. Delifanimo, Peter Obi contested on that platform of the Labour Party. And like you rightly said, it changed the fortune of the party.
And it was the reason why those people that took the ticket of Labour Party, they were relying on the strength of P2B to win that election.
Let me give you a live instance. For the first time, this party produced about 35 House of Rep members and over 100 House of Assembly members across the states. The party has never recorded such a fortune, not even when Mimiko was elected as the first governor of the party. I went to the field during elections in 2023. So I went to the polling booth because my job was to report live on VOP TV and VOP radio the activities at the polling units. I would tell you that I saw persons clicking on the Labour Party logo across.
It was a bandwagon
national
effect.
Rep to them. Peter Obi is the president, is the House of Rep member, is the National Assembly member.
Is the Senate.
A lot of persons did not even know the representatives they were voting for.
That's why
it was just Labour Party all through. It was after the high of the election.
It was a bandwagon effect.
That we now began to see the faces of the persons in the National Assembly, in the Senate, in the whatever. People did not even know who they were. Let me give you an example. The one at Etiosa, local government in Lagos here, Etiosa constituency. It was after the election we saw the man's face. We're like, is this the person that is representing Labour Party? It was like a Peter Obi should be everywhere. Now, We are now hearing that these members in the National Assembly, House of Reps, are top members. They are living in droves. What is the chairman of the Labour Party doing about it?
The chairman that is also fighting the battle of his life, he doesn't have a say over who leads. And as a matter of fact, these politicians, ab initio, were opportunists. They knew that the vehicle with which they could ride to their various offices was primed.
Including an Okada rider who literally
In Kaduna now, Southern Kaduna, an Okada rider. And that's why when 160 million SUVs were distributed, none of them could refuse. Because what they were angling for was to get there, not to propagate the ideology. Of course, there was no ideology anyway. Peter Obi just came, and unfortunately, Peter Obi now found himself as a shark in a pond. But to them, they are looking at the pond. They are not looking at the shark that came to the pond. And when that crisis broke out, it was a perfect alibi for these people that rode on the crest of P2B, not Labour Party.
But Peter Obi.
But P2B. Now, they know that this vehicle cannot take them to the next destination because they have always been opportunists.
Lamidi Apapa has been quiet ever since.
Because he has already done the maximum damage to the party. Abure was not politically savvy enough to know the end of this game. And Abure is even stranded now.
He doesn't know he seems not to know what to do.
You know, that's why I said...
The last time he called Peter Obi and said, you guys are the ones that, revived the party. Come, let's work together. But nobody has responded.
He ended up putting the cart before the horse. If you had listened to my interventions in the last, around September up till October, when this crisis was raging, I said, Peter Obi will survive. Obedient will survive. But Abure will not survive. He will be thrown under the bus. And what is happening now? There are times you win the battle, but you don't win the war.
Okay, right now, a lot of persons are blaming Peter Obi in this thing. They're blaming him because they feel that he did not wake up to the gong of discord in the Labour Party enough to intervene and make sure that it doesn't become what it has become. Others felt that he kept quiet for so long, and the time he wanted to take actions to resuscitate or build back the divide that had been created was too late. That was when we saw the Nadi Usman committee that was set up and all of that. After INEC did not recognize that committee, did not recognize the chairman that came out of that committee, but recognized Abure, we didn't hear anything anymore about what Peter Obi is doing with the party. Now, there's a lot of decampaigning. If you go on X, there's been a lot of decampaigning on Peter Obi. One of such persons that had decampaigned him is Kenneth Okonkwo. Kenneth Okonkwo has alleged that Peter Obi is a sweet man, is a nice man, and Nigerian politics does not need someone sweet and nice. You cannot use niceness and sweetness to break the wall or the brigandage going on in our politics. I'm coming. But the thing now is this. The obedience feel that Peter Obi has his way of doing things. You don't have to do it the way others do it. It doesn't mean that it has to go in a certain way. Are we seeing a possibility that this silence from Peter Obi is a means through which we will not be surprised to hear that he has finally left the Labour Party?
You see, for me, it's just a matter of when and not if that Peter Obi will leave the Labour Party. Now, let me tell you, there are classes of politicians. You have hardcore politicians that have taken politics as a job.
Okay.
And you have technocrats in politics. And that's the likes of Obi. Obi felt the need, the passion to do something for the society. It was already made in business. He ordinarily wouldn't have bothered to go into politics, but he felt the need to provide leadership. That was why he took up APGA ticket and he won, and he did creditably well. And that also spurred him into going up the ladder to contest for presidency. That, look, if I could do this in my state, is it not possible for me to replicate it in Nigeria? At least be the game changer. And he went all out. But along this trajectory, Peter Obi was never a politician. In the true sense of Nigerian politics, he was not and is still not a politician. So is just leaning the ropes. Peter Obi brought in morality into politics, and Nigerian politics cannot accommodate morality. Peter Obi brought finesse, and it's a murky water. How do you clean up the audience table in a short while?
How do you think?
So,
okay,
Peter Obi would rather, if he wants to achieve his dream, would rather. Now it's coming to fruition. Before 2027, the electoral law would be changed to allow for independent candidacy. And I see Peter Obi contesting as an independent candidate in 2002. I said independent candidate. You don't need a party.
You don't need a party.
Yes, to contest as an independent candidate. It has happened in America.
Well, I'm talking
Rules Perot.
Electoral Act. You don't need a party.
They will have to change there's a move.
There's a move.
There is a bill in the National Assembly.
Is that part of the bill? Because
Yes.
the only latest development I know is about Nigerians in diaspora being able to vote, and you get a computer-generated slip for you to vote.
Yes.
If there is an opportunity for independent persons without being in a party,
Go back to that story.
Okay.
Independent candidacy is also included. Once that bill is passed, somebody like Peter Obi does not need a party. Obedient movement will now be the platform for Peter Obi to contest the next election. And that will be the beauty of it. And then it will not be tied to the apron string of a political party that is peopled by hardcore politicians that are only opportunists. That's when people of like mind, patriots, will come around him and give him that support. Rules Perot almost upsetted the status quo in America when he ran as independent candidate in America, as big as America is. So if we have that independent candidacy enshrined in the electoral law, it gives room for people like Peter Obi. And then it will also reduce the incidence of cross-carpeting every day, every night. Some politicians have gone through all the gamut of political parties in Nigeria.
all right.
In their search for office.
Mr. Jerry Fanimo, the reason why we're discussing political parties, it's not like political parties will help us resolve the economic quagmire, the poverty, the hunger, the dilapidated public infrastructures that we have in the country. But it happens to be that if we have an adequate leader, a leader who has the need, who understands the need of his people, he will drive the economy forward. And all these porosities that we are currently going through will actually be breached, will be cemented. That's basically what it is. So it feels like for you to have that kind of leader, there's a political party as a platform that is needed. So when we hear persons talking about political parties within this period, that there is hunger in the land, that there are no job employment opportunities, that insecurity is ravaging the nation, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're concentrating on the politicians. It just happens to be that for leadership to emerge, these are the platforms that they have to be part of. Now let's see a situation where this particular bill that Mahmoud Yakub is actually proposing to present at the National Assembly to be added as part of the electoral guidelines. It's not a law, as part of the guidelines. And we know that it was with this guideline that INEC used to defend itself as to the glitch on the RF portal glitch that happened. He said that guidelines can be changed. It is not a law, it is a guideline. And Nigerians are saying we don't want guidelines anymore because you can use that technicality to evade certain things when we have to go to the court, because any election that transpires in this country, you must land in the court. So why should it be a guideline? Why shouldn't it be a bill? And how are we certain that it will be passed before 2027 for these changes to be implemented, whereby we cannot have independent individuals participate and have the people vote massively for them, not vote for a party that within them they're not happy for, but because of the preference of the individual who is carrying the flag, they just have to vote that party.
You see, there's this saying that who party help.
Okay.
The point is, when you talk about political parties, there is a trend, there is a culture, there is a tradition. The conservatives in Britain will not jump ship
Okay.
ordinarily. to another party. The Democrats, you hardly find them moving to Republican in America. Why? The staying power is there's an ideological bent. Once you don't have that, your aspiration embedded within the precinct of that particular ideology, you don't have a place in that political party. So, but do we have all that in Nigeria? And somebody like Atiku had moved from AC, ACN, PDP, back to PDP, APC, back to PDP. So how do you situate the ideological bent of somebody like Atiku? ANPP, what is the name of this political party by Buhari? CPC, and now APC. So show me a political party that has stood the test of time and that produced ideological bent that could shape the thinking of a politician, such that even while you are in school, you know your idiosyncrasies and where you can locate your political ambition. But here, nothing like that. You just think of one day, APC is popular in Lagos. Let me go for APC. And if APC cannot accommodate me, what is the next political party that I can use?
You go for the next.
Political party. So, for me, there is a difference between operational guidelines for INEC and the position for the Labour Act. What Mahmood is proposing is to incorporate these things in the Labour Act, and that's why he's taking it to the. You see, you don't need the intervention of the Parliament when you want to design guidelines. Guidelines are just operational guidelines that anybody in INEC can tinker with, and it is at the discretion of INEC to either use or discard.
That's basically what their defense was during the tribunal.
That has always been, and that's why some people, when they go to town, because they don't understand the way these things play out, they assume authority over ignorance. So the way we are now, let's push. Nigeria, we have a problem. We rather engage the executive arm of government and judiciary. But the strongest power in that tripod is the legislative arm. Anything that is not backed by law is an aberration, no matter how morally you want to powder it. And that's why sometimes at the heart of our problem is the National Assembly.
So if, as you say, you're not going to be surprised that any time from now, Peter Obi could leave the Labour Party, if, as you say, because right now officially he's still within the Labour Party, but we've not seen him hang around them. We've not seen him being part of their meetings. He's just been in his lane, doing his thing, going about his philanthropic efforts as he used to, even when he was a private individual.
That's why I said he's a technocrat in politics.
What I'm asking is this. What other political party would he join that would not be conscripted of the same persons? It's a regurgitation of the same persons within Nigeria's political circle. So if you go to the PDP, it's the same as APC. You go to APC, you see PDP members. So what political party would he be part of that will have different sets of persons with the same mindset that he has and with the notion to drive and push the country forward, bereft of tribal differences, bereft of ideologies that are different in concept or in context, different of whatever it is that these political parties and politicians are used, riding on with, especially with the brains of Nigerians?
For me, what we should encourage, what we should push as a media agenda is for the amendment of the electoral law to accommodate independent candidates.
Okay.
Aside from that, APC is not going to accommodate P2B, and PDP if P2B returns to PDP, it's not going to.
I don't even see Peter Obi going to APC or PDP.
And Labour Party, as it is today, is fragmented, and he cannot further his political ambition with Labour Party. The only thing that I would know and that I feel, except if the ruling government decides to truncate that process, is for Peter Obi to come in as independent candidate, devoid of any political party. And what are political parties for? Is to galvanize voters.
Exactly.
Is to mobilize. Obedience, we are doing it better than any political party.
Than the Labour Party itself, it's true.
Yes, so why do you think Peter Obi needs a party, a platform? Because I don't call them parties, I call them platforms.
Well, when we say Peter Obi needs a platform, because that is what is the prerequisite for now.
Is obedience not a better platform to any platform? If somebody is resting on a platform that took him to third position, strong third position in an election, less than 4 months to election, then now imagine if obedient movement transforms to a strong, veritable platform. Don't forget that obedient platform has all the tribes in Nigeria.
Yes, it does.
It was not tied to any particular ethnic group.
Yes.
And is that not a revolution that we should encourage to happen? It could be the turn of Peter Obi to use obedient platform today. It could be my turn to use obedient platform tomorrow. And if it is possible, you now transform it to a political party. And that political party now becomes the game changer. And making sure that everything that has to be embedded in a political party that is sellable, that is universal, will be in Nigeria. That's a revolution. That's the path we should toe. For me, in 2027, I want to see a P2B as an independent candidate riding on the crest of the platform of obedience.
Okay, what if Peter Obi doesn't contest in 2027?
What will make him not contest? That means he never had the interest of Nigerians at heart.
Are you sure?
If he fails to contest in 2027,
with all the denigrating comments, denigrating statements, some supporters have left, some political party members that were supporting have left.
There is no supporter in the obedient that has left obedience.
There are some that have left. I see them on X.
Those are opportunists. They didn't have the heart of that group. They just saw a group. Some of them made so much money.
No, not some. Most of them did.
That's what I'm saying.
2023, most of them did.
They made money. Why these monies returned to the obedient purse? Now, Abure is fighting the battle of his life because he doesn't want to be probed over all the monies that were paid by candidates. Expression of interest form was sold. Acceptance was sold. 1,000 naira challenge.
Yes, was up too.
Also got so much huge funds, and he has not remitted. He has not given account of how he spent those monies. So come and tell me, if Peter Obi, it's like you are leading me to a point that I believe that I'm getting to Eldorado, and then you just back off.
That will not be good at all.
That will be the betrayal. It will be the highest form of betrayal to Nigerians who supported him in 2023 if he decides not to contest in 2027.
So in other words, we should also hold INEC accountable, because a lot of people say the problem of our elections is INEC. Is it INEC? They blame INEC a lot. Mahmoud Yakub has been blamed severely for the 2023 elections not going the way a lot of them wanted it to go.
Now, the question you ask yourself, is it Mahmoud or the National Assembly? Mahmoud wouldn't have existed without the enablement of the National Assembly. Who made the law that drives INEC? Who is supposed to amend those laws that drives the processes of our electioneering? So sometimes we look at personality. We are not looking at the institution. If you bring Angel Gabriel to become INEC chairman today, he wouldn't perform better than Mahmood. Because if there is no law, there is no sin.
That's true. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Daily Fanny Moore. You questions, you will still need to respond to questions. But let me call out the WhatsApp number for people to react to, those who are listening or watching us via YouTube. If you're on YouTube or if you have the app, go on to VOP 903 FM. We're actually live. You can virtually be part of the conversation. The number for you to send your WhatsApp messages to is 0817 1756338. 081 717 56338. 081 717 56338. Okay. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. All right. 0817 1756338. That is the number for you to call. And then the WhatsApp, you can send WhatsApp messages in there, and you can also call as well. 0700 903 903 903. You can also call that 0700 903 903 903. Hello. Hello. Okay. We thought a call was coming in there. All right, let me read out some of your messages. Esther, good morning. Speaking sincerely, I am tired of hearing issues concerning Labour Party, APC, PDP. Are there no economic development, new innovations we can discuss rather than all these failed party issues? What is this? Countries like China, Canada, America have gone far, far ahead of us. In fact, most of these countries are already living in the year 2050. Why is Nigeria still living in 1920? What exactly is wrong with us, Esther? You need to see the road infrastructure in China's documentary. We're here discussing about failed political parties who are the source of our problem. Enough of this Peter Obi Article 2027 election and all Jari. I support an independent candidate. Political parties have failed woefully. Mahmoud Yakub is at it again, Abi, ready to serve Nigerians' lies as if it was rice one more time. What a shame. AY from Mushi. All right, AY, very nice. Sister Esther, the erudite analyst in the studios, good morning. Just as the erudite analyst has said, what exists nowadays are not political parties but platforms to seek elections and re-elections. To solidify this, one strategy by which most political parties, especially the ruling party, win the opponent is plant members into others. The planted members are to cause internal crisis that will make members quit the parties where they were elected in due time. The only way to prevent this is to expel any member found not obedient to the party. Based on this, PDP still allowing Wike to remain in the party is a grave mistake. Labour Party, on the other hand, not expelling Akpakpa and Aburi as soon as they noticed and established anti-party activities against them bred the disarray. Agege from Agege. Well done, Agege from Agege. The number to actually send your messages to is 0817 1756338. 0817 1756338. You can call there and you can also send your messages there. We'll soon be wrapping up in a few minutes. Mr. Delifanimo, a couple of people tend to agree with your concept that we should utilize independent candidates. That's the way to go. But if that is the way to go, what if INEC does not implement that? What if they don't adopt that approach? What then happens?
They don't have a choice. If the National Assembly agrees to it, INEC is just there to implement whatever comes from the National Assembly.
Okay.
And accented to by the executive arm headed by the president. So INEC is just a messenger of government. So wherever they send them, they must go. So it's not a question of Mahmoud agreeing or not agreeing. If he proposes and is sanctioned, so be it.
If he proposes and is sanctioned
by the National Assembly,
okay,
so be it.
That's what I'm asking. What if that doesn't go? Because a lot of people are also seeking that. Because this person is saying now that we should be talking about how to develop our country, revitalize our economy. Is it not on the person who emerges as the winner? And since party platforms is basically what enables that, why wouldn't that be the process through which we'll have our conversations on?
You see, if you don't have a stable polity, you can't initiate policies, and when you can't initiate good policies, then you have bad implementation.
Okay.
So the on the tripod is sound political re-engineering, which will dovetail into economic empowerment and eventually get to national development. So at the base of it is making sure that we have a stable polity that will engender good leadership.
A stable polity that would engender good leadership.
Yeah.
So, as it stands now, we have 2026 and 2027. Let's just say we've entered 2025. So, this administration approximately has 2 years. What should the opposition parties do between now and then? Because we were thinking that they would have decided to set up their trajectory, see how they can start mobilizing in terms of starting from the grassroots, what you call grassroots mobilization. Begin to embed in the unconsciousness of those at the grassroots the ideals of the political party. We're not seeing them doing that. Rather, within them, they are still trying to sort out who is the chairman, who is not the chairman, who is the leader, who is not the leader, and all whatnot. So why do you think that the APC would not win again in 2027, since they seem to have themselves more organized, or their disorganization is not obvious to the glare of the public?
You see, I would liken Nigerian electorate as the proverbial monkey. Do you know how they catch monkeys in South America? They will put banana in a perforated gourd with narrow opening.
Okay.
So the monkey dips its hand inside the gourd, picks the banana, and the moment he picks the banana, you know the hand is swollen.
Already.
He cannot take that
Banana out.
So he keeps struggling until the man that wants to catch it will come and take, just like that. And that's the way we are in Nigeria. Most of the things we do is driven by greed. If that monkey was not greedy, he would have let go the banana and it will be free and escape. So what is the value espoused by the electorate that will not give these charlatans the opportunity to come back? What are they doing to ensure that they are not induced by gratification to determine their voting pattern? Until we begin to look at that, then we are not going anywhere.
Until we begin to look at that, then we're not going anywhere. All right, we have messages coming in. Good morning, dear. I reason with your analyst. National Assembly is our problem. Okay, let's pick this call. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, Mazi from Germany again. Good
Marzi
morning.
from Germany. Good morning. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Your guest is just very wonderful. My sister, do you know why the system in Nigeria or most sub-Saharan African countries cannot work? Because the whole thing is founded on falsehood and deceit. You cannot tell me that somebody like Akpabio, who benefited from PDP, his adult life was on PDP, and today the same person is APC and the president of the Senate, and is condemning PDP that made him. All of them, 70% of APC people were in PDP. And today they're making mockery of PDP. The platform that they stood on and looted Nigeria dry. Today they are making mockery of the same platform. They are going at, look, these people this is a clique of people. They are not there for me and for you. They are for themselves and their nuclear families. My sister, none of them today can tell you that their families are in Nigeria, that their children are going through what ordinary children are going today in Nigeria. None of them. Look, if they believe in this Nigeria they're talking about, why are they building their mansions in the UK, in the States, in EU countries? They will resign or they will retire and they flee away. They will come here and enjoy themselves, their loot, and then leave Nigeria desolate. They are the same people, PDP, APC, they are the same people. For example, can you look at Wike today? Look at all of them. They are the same people. They are not for you and for me. The only way is that this Nigerian, we must sit down and make a new law for us. Make a new law for us, because this 1999 constitution is not working. That's what is giving them the impetus of dealing with us mercilessly. We are suffering everywhere. Over here, we are suffering. We want to come back, but nowhere to go, nowhere to come back. Insecurity, my sister. If you look at what is happening in Nigeria today, you cry as a Nigerian. I left Nigeria that 4 years ago. That 4 years ago, when I bought naira, in fact, it was 19 naira against $1. In Marina, there 19 naira against $1. Even under the military, they're now condemning. Military regime, nobody wants military regime. But let me ask Nigerians, were your life better off under the military regime and now under the civilian rule since 2020, since 24 years ago? For me, I would say no. Because over there, look, let me tell you, even 1996, when I first came back to Nigeria, do you know that I traveled from, because I left Jos. It was from Jos I left for Europe. I traveled from Lagos on a night bus from Jos, from Lagos to Jos. Night, there was no there's everywhere. There was security. Today you cannot try it.
All right,
and this was under the military. So these people that clique of the same gang, they don't want you. They don't want me. They just are there for themselves. APC, PDP, all of them, they are the same. The same people who are today the senators, the governors, they were in PDP.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Excuse me if I should continue talking here. We are so angry with these people. They are not for us at all.
At all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. He said it all, Mr. Dele Fanimo. He
just
actually said it all. He just stated the obvious. It's the truth. All right, we'll soon be rounding off. Good morning, Esther. We have to redefine our political laws until law is established that prohibits actors from cross-capital at least until a specific period or face penalties of not contesting the next election. We will still be 2 steps behind realizing the actual essence of political parties. Cherem Ukuri from Ikeja, well done. It's a shame we are all in this country's mess with politicians playing games on Nigerians. His Excellency Peter Obi doesn't need any popular platform to contest come 2027. Even with XYZ party, will go and support his mandate. Okay. Good morning, all. As far as Peter Obi is in the corridor of contesting and election, APC National Assembly can never allow an independent candidate B. Mazi Akajaja from Okota. Good morning, Esther and Mr. Dele. Tinubu will be the president of Nigeria in 2027 only if the results are transmitted electronically from the polling unit. APC can't win the presidential election without rigging. APC has no plans to make Nigeria better. Caleb from Idimu. Wow, it's already 11:31. Mr. Dele Fanimo, what do you have to say before we round off?
We just need to fix Nigeria, and the power to do that rests in the youth. And for the youth to be able to do this, we need to get them adequately prepared. And how do you prepare them? Through sensitization. And anytime I'm on air like this, the first thing I advocate that must be done is to return history to our curriculum.
So persons like Paschal Obi, who cross-capitaled from the Labour Party to the APC, no punitive measures? Their seats will not be declared vacant?
Oh, no. You know, when these politicians, that's why I said our problem is in the National Assembly, not even the presidency, not even in the judiciary.
Are we expected to see more of this?
Do you know that it is the same National Assembly that amended the electoral law to accommodate cross-carpeting by saying that the only reason why you can cross-carpet is that there is a faction within your party. Who creates factions? Is it angels? Is it not the politicians?
So that could be the
A politician, yes.
That could be the premise for Paschal Obi and them.
Yes.
That left Labour Party. That
So
there's a
don't
faction
need-
in the party.
They don't need to go to anybody that goes to court to challenge them is just wasting his money, because all the lawyer needs to say is to just quote the relevant portion that says, and it is obvious in Nigeria today that Labour Party has 2 factions, if not 3. Apapa is there, Abure is there, Nenadi Usman is
Is
there. So do they need any lawyer to plead their case in court? And that's why it was easy for them to cross carpet. If they want to come back, if Peter Obi suddenly becomes strong in AAPP tomorrow, they move to AAPP and also get the ticket, and they become. Why have they not rejected 160 million naira vehicles? If they have the mindset of an Obi when they took that ticket from Labour Party.
All right, Mr. Delifanimo, thank you so much. Let me read this message before we round off. Good morning, crew. There's a saying, good thinking, good product, and bad thinking, bad product. For Kemi Badenoch, she doesn't want to relate with bad product. I remember the world is a global village. We're looking at the way this government came into power. It is fraudulent, in which EU observers, Yaga Africa, and other bodies can testify to. The certificate issue in which cash and carry INEC and judiciary covered up, turning the people to beggars and Almajiri in the midst of plenty. Due to the obnoxious policies, many public and private companies shut down because of the economic disaster. People have jackpot because of the nightmare we are in Nigeria. They destroyed education to breed agberos for elections gain. So I align with her that the bad thinking of this government will bring bad products. It's a shame the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. Dio from Fagba. Thank you so much, Dio, and the rest of you who sent your messages. We do hope that at some point the network will become better so we can get and take more of your calls. My name is Esther Wachiku. Follow us across our social media handles at VOP903FM. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. And of course, do stay tuned. We'll have the world news coming up next at 12 noon. Bye for now.